defending. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, bro. Come on.
Just as the big man Ian Wright said, "There, people deluded, I'm back again." Let's see what the latest rumours concerning Arsenal Football Club are specifically saying. Now, I'm sure everybody watched Manchester City defeat Manchester United 2-1 in the FA Cup final, and Gundogan scored not one but two volleys with both feet. The man's a legend. The man's a quality player. On his future, he said, "It's my 7th year at Man City now. I've never stayed that long at a club. That alone, the numbers shows how much I appreciate the club, how much I feel appreciated from the fans, teammates. It's an absolute joy to be part of this team, to work with Pep. I've learned a lot throughout the years. I've had many ups and downs. We have won a lot together, and every single trophy feels special." And he also said that nothing has been decided. And for Gundogan, you have to admit there's a lot for him to consider. You know, on one hand, I do believe in life, and I think as much as I'm a big Arsene Wenger fan, I think he could have learned from Sir Alex Ferguson in that sometimes there's no better way to leave than at the top. And as Pep said it, as great as City are, they probably will. Will there ever be an opportunity for them to claim a treble? Having won, assuming that they complete the treble and they've got 2 of the 3 of the set and a whole heap of trophies that Gundogan's accumulated, surely it's better to go out now and try a new experience. Obviously, the man's, you know, on the careers on the wind down. There's an opportunity to potentially go to Barcelona and learn under Xavi, play in a new league and experience a new city, really and truly. Milan are allegedly leading the race to sign Manchester City's Gundogan on a free transfer, according to reports out of Italy, primarily linked with Barca, tentative links to Arsenal Football Club. I don't know if you believe any of the in the knows, but if I scroll, where is it? I've kind of flopped myself here, people. We're going to have to forget about that, I believe. Oh, there it is. As reported, Gundogan will make his decision after the Champions League final has taken place. Offers on the table from City, Arsenal and Barcelona. Just a waiting game to see where he goes. Personal opinion is he's likely to move to Barcelona if finances allow it. Gundogan also said, "Big up Chris Wheatley. To be honest, I don't need these kind of days to feel appreciated. I know that's why I'm here 7 years. Nothing is decided yet. We're going to see what's going to happen." And to be fair, you know, I'm sure talks with other clubs, talks with City, etc., are going down. But it doesn't make sense to him for him to say anything other than that. You know, he has to focus on the Champions League final that's in play. And also, to play devil's advocate, you could argue that if you wanted to stay, you would have just got it done, in it, people, and said, "I'm staying here." So that's where Gundogan's concerned. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know your own thoughts on Saliba. A journalist, Ben Jacobs, has said, "As I've said many times, for a year, the PSG interest is very real. They've got one clear target, which is buy young and where possible buy French. And apparently Julian Nagelsmann and Thierry Henry are going to become the manager and assistant manager respectively at PSG. You've all seen actually Benzema's leaving Barcelona, as is Madrid, as is Hazard as well. There's a couple of things going on. Harry Kane's been linked with Real Madrid. Transfer season is opening up. But there remains high confidence at Arsenal that a deal will eventually get done because Saliba is settled at the club, which hasn't necessarily been the case throughout Saliba's time here, really. Apparently, I understand that the bid for Rice should be submitted by this Friday, which West Ham are playing on Wednesday against Fiorentina. Arsenal want to keep a good relationship with West Ham as to why they've held off before the final, as they understand there's lots of negotiations involved. Half these players that Arsenal are linked with, etc., everybody's wanting them. Apparently, Bayern Munich are on the verge of completing the signing of Declan Rice, according to this journalist, whatever that means. Arsenal to miss out on Declan Rice's Bayern Munich deal closed in rapid transfer turn. Now, if again, Bayern Munich, they just because Arsenal are not dealing with certain things now doesn't mean Bayern are not. But if West Ham are saying, you know what, we know he's going to go, whether you're Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, Bayern, etc., leave him alone until after the final. So who knows, really? You couldn't begrudge him for wanting to move abroad, although we hear he wants to stay in London. The chance to work under Tommy Tuchel, pick up some trophies at Bayern Munich, play for a massive club like Bayern Munich, and obviously as a result of being a footballer, experience a new life in Germany. I've never been Germany, don't know how the world is like, but I'm pretty sure it's, you know, very different to how he's grown up. Arsenal are facing the agony of missing out on Mikel Arteta's top targets after it emerged that Declan Rice is closing in on a potential summer transfer to Bayern Munich. The West Ham captain was always expected to leave the London Stadium, having turned down the contract with interest from the Premier League top clubs, but it seems the midfielder is set to snub the chance to stay in England by joining the German champions. Apparently, despite having a year left on his contract, he's valued at 100 million quid. Don't know if Bayern Munich will go there, but according to transfer expert Jose Felix Diaz. Rice's move to the Allianz Arena is now close as the 24-year-old looks set to make a surprising move to join Thomas Tuchel's side in Germany. I'm sure West Ham would prefer to sell him abroad, similar to Spurs if they get rid of Kane. And actually, if Tierney didn't want to, go Aston Villa or Newcastle. Rice's reps reportedly met Bayern Chiefs in London to discuss a move on Friday, and the midfielder was giving the feeling that he could imagine signing for Bayern Munich. Apparently, Sky Germany claims the meeting was positive and that Bayern were preparing their next move with an official offer to West Ham. There's no confirmation yet. The East London club have received a bid, but Bayern are ready to step up their pursuit, and the only winners would be West Ham. Bidding war means more money. So we'll have to see. But again, by Bayern Munich standards, they are stable, but it seems like there's been a lot of turbulent moments and a lack of stability. Every minute there's a new player that wants to leave. There's been some background changes. I don't know if that's something Rice would consider. As you know, he would near enough guaranteed for the rest of your Bayern Munich career if you signed for them that you'd be playing Champions League football. You can't guarantee that Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool, Newcastle every year are going to be in the Champions League as the league gets a lot more competitive. At this moment, probably only Manchester City. When Pep leaves, that could be something else. West Ham can no longer fight off teams playing in the Champions League as Rice eyes a move to a bigger club, and they'd almost certainly prefer to sell him to a foreign team, as it says there. It could throw a spanner in the works for Arteta, who now may have to focus on alternative midfield targets. The North London side tried to sign Caicedo in Jan, but Brighton rejected all three bids for the Ecuadorian. Zubimendi could be another backup option, given that the Spaniard had a release clause of 51 million written into his contract, who's also been linked with Barcelona people. Paris Saint-Germain are considering a move for our defender Gabriel, but he has no intention of leaving. He speaks French. Apparently him and Saliba speak French when playing in games. It could be a great move for him. He signed a new deal. We need you for the Champions League next year. Again, your first choice centre-back to go with Saliba. We need him in it. It would make sense for them to go for him. He's contracted until 2027, so you'd have to make it worth our while. So PSG are looking at two of our centre-backs. We must be doing all right. Apparently, reports are coming out, people. Caicedo finds himself in a difficult situation regarding his future, since he has to decide between two of the most important teams in the Premier League and a third on the hunt. He wants to play in the Champions League, one of his dreams, and for that, he has Arsenal, a team with whom he has even agreed personal terms, but it's not the one that pays the most for his pass. For the player at the moment, the Gunners are his priority, but if we don't put the money down, this is going to end up like Mudryk and all of these things. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts. Then there is Chelsea, a team that is willing to pay a higher fee than Arsenal, but will not play in anything in Europe next season. But in the next few hours, they will hear about the project that Pochettino wants and has written with him. Then there is Liverpool, who, although they don't have the Ecuadorian as a priority, especially because they do not want to pay what Brighton asks for, and it seems like they're going to get McAllister, but who are very fond of Klopp and who agreed to his incorporation from the winter market. I mean, he would be a great signing for everyone. Again, apparently Caicedo agrees personal terms. Obviously, this article is talking primarily about Arsenal and Chelsea's battle. He's undecided where his future lies. And I mean, it all depends if Arsenal go for you or don't go for you. Or Chelsea, again, they're linked with a lot of midfielders. Personal terms don't mean much. And I do think, regardless what you think about Chelsea, I think Chelsea is an attractive proposition to Caicedo, as would Arsenal be, as would Liverpool, and half the team's interested in him. So we'll have to see. Apparently, if they're demanding 75 million on him, then whether we think he's worth it or not, if this is the market, they could do a lot. We could do a lot worse. For Chelsea, obviously, they've got more money. They're prepared to make more money. It seems like they're getting players out. Havertz could be going Madrid. Kovacic could be going City. We hear they need to sell to buy. Not that I believe that. Obviously, Chelsea have been onto him. They could probably offer Levi Colwill in some capacity, maybe on loan, to kind of smooth things over. But money talks in this world, as you lot know. We've gone over that. Arsenal are waiting until the end of next week before they make any concrete bid for West Ham midfielder Declan Rice, according to Romano. They're leading the race in terms of interest, but then you have to reach an agreement with the player and with West Ham. There's still the case, but we know they want to respect West Ham because of the Conference League final, and this is why there's no concrete negotiations now, as they're waiting on the price tag, as we know, and we will be doing a watch along for that. West Ham versus Fiorentina is mid-week, folks. Away from that, on Maddison, Arsenal have been linked with him again. I think he's a player we admire, again, depending on any incomings or outgoings or any failures to bring in targets. It could be someone we go for. And we have heard Arsenal want a creative midfielder, but it does feel like Maddison is of the Fabio Vieiras, the Smith roles, the Odegaards playing in the 10 and all of those sort of playmaker roles. Obviously, Maddison can play a number of roles. He'd certainly be interested in going there. I think he's an ambitious player, and wherever he goes, he's going to bring the same kinds of qualities that he did for Leicester. But I think he could be a bigger player and have more of an impact if he goes elsewhere. So journalists has done us. They haven't said anything. Again, apparently AC Milan have been linked with, despite that apparently we've agreed a fee for, well, a contract for Reece Nelson. Apparently AC Milan are still fighting hard, people. Maldini and a fellow advisor of AC Milan apparently recently had talks, but were informed of Arsenal's willingness to renew his contract, which is allegedly worth more than 60 odd grand a week. That is his current wages and a 4-year deal. I mean, I'm not too sure on the credibility of the article, because is that Reece Nelson? I know some people think all IC3s look the same, smash the like button, but last time I checked, you know, I don't even know. Is that I want to say Eddie Nketiah, people, but for me, is that Saliba? I don't know, man. That might be Thierry Henry. I don't know. Really and truly, it's not hard to, you know, really. So can't really doubt that. City are ready to sell João Cancelo to Arsenal, as we've heard before, but apparently he doesn't want to stay in England. Obviously, Dean Jones has said, obviously Cancelo is one of those, and there's already understanding at Arsenal of what it might take to sign him from City. If Arsenal are willing to pay up, then City would not block the move. That's the current feeling. It's a stance they've held in the past and does not seem to be swayed by the fact Arsenal ran them the closest in the title race this season, or better yet, the season that's just gone. To kind of wrap this up, people, let's see what Goal.com has said. We found a breakthrough in contract talks with Reece Nelson. We're formulating a new deal for Martin Odegaard. We have been linked aggressively with Xavi Simons of PSV. Declan Rice has rejected Bayern Munich allegedly. So it all depends what you read. We've rekindled our interest in Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. Once again, cold water has been poured on our pursuit of João Cancelo. We are to submit an official bid for Declan Rice very soon. We're in pole position for Wahi from Montpellier. Allegedly, a 15 million euro bid for the 18-year-old La Liga fullback Ivan Fresneda has been placed, although Fabrizio Romano poured cold water on that. Once again, Arsenal, Spurs and Newcastle have been linked with James Maddison. Bayern Munich are the front runners for Vlahovic. Again, Romano poured cold water on the Fresneda stuff. We're not going to sell Smith Rowe. PSG have been linked with Odegaard. Alexis Sanchez has been linked with return to the Premier League. Make of that what you will. We've been offered Asu Fati. As we know, the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. 99.9% of these rumors are BS. Until players are holding shirts, who knows? On that, appreciate you lot tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed. Most importantly, enjoy what's left of your weekend or day when you come across this. Check out my other vids. Subscribe. Make sure you're following on Twitch. Stay blessed, stay safe, stay in good health. I'm out.
There's always just that active red flag defenders. I think it's like